So what made old movies so great?
Rosebud was a sled.
Spoiler, Craig!
Hi, I'm Craig.
I'm Braden. Welcome to Crossing the Vector Line.
Where because of our interesting and potentially hilarious commentary, we hope that you come to love video at least as much as we do.
So we're taking a look back. Hold on. So we're taking a look back at some of the old films that were made when color wasn't even invented yet.
No, back when the world is black and white.
But they're still so great. Like, we love these movies. How is that even possible?
Yeah, we studied a lot of these things back in film school. Things that we're still talking about today, 70, 80, 90 years later. Here's what made those films and TV shows so great. First off, they were so innovative. These guys back in the 20s and 30s and 40s, the heyday of Hollywood, weren't able to pull open the rule books of filmmaking and say, well, what works? And they were the ones creating those rule books.
They did it live.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
And they didn't have to rely on computers and motion graphics. What they had was what they had there in front of them. They couldn't go down the road and say, hey, just Photoshop Godzilla on there. It doesn't work that way back then.
Yeah, they were setting the bar themselves, a bar that even nowadays is hard to surpass. These guys were creating things like the rule of thirds and screen direction and the vector line and things like that we still know we have to observe today.
I mean, it was such a mystery, moving from theater performances that were live, you could reach out and touch the action, to going to something where you were on a screen, but you still connected and you made sure that this person is actually in the same room as this person. They're talking to each other. Even between all these cuts, you still had a continuous fluid storyline that was just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
And these guys, they crewed it, they pioneered it.
That's right.
So they get a lot of the credit for it, and of course we build off of that, but they did it purposefully. There was a lot of emphasis and forethought placed on the story. In a lot of today's movies, you see them focusing on a gimmick or on a special effect. Look, we can drop all of Los Angeles into the San Andreas Fault. Great, cool, but 2 hours cool? Make it about the storyline. Make it about the character development. That way, their actions resonate profoundly as opposed to, I'm the hero coming to save the damsel in distress. Why? I don't know, she's attractive. Okay, let's crash a helicopter.
The actors and the story and the script writing, those were the things that kept your attention, and I think we were better for it.
Something to help guide that motivation to what makes those movies so great is symbolism. An example is Casablanca, one of my favorite movies. There's a repeated symbolism of bars, of a caged system that they're living in. Even if it's shadows on the wall or on the faces, it just reflects that these people are trapped where they are. They can't get out. You probably miss it when you watch the movie, but when you go back and watch it, even if you don't pick up on it at first, you kind of get this entrapment. They cannot escape, and that just goes along the whole storyline, the whole entire plot right there.
Yeah, and the amount of forethought that went into the filmmakers and the scriptwriters, even before they shot a shred of film. North by Northwest, I actually spent a week in film school studying just like 2 scenes from that movie, looking at the blocking and staging of the props and the actors and the camera movement, and the symmetry that was created in almost every scene. I think there was so much more emphasis put on that back in the day, and I really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
This episode of Crossing the Vector Line is brought to you by Whipster, our favorite tool for video review and approval. Sign up today for your free trial at whipster.io.
I'm no videologist, but I am kind of sick of all the remakes we're seeing in theaters recently.
You know, I can definitely see both sides, but there are some movies I am so glad they came back to that material 20, 30 years later and made something even more solid.
I have such an appreciation for making something your own. So even if you are not doing an original storyline, you are remaking something like Batman Begins, they showed Batman in a whole new light. It was more of a crime movie than a superhero movie. Just show that to your viewers, say, hey, check out Batman from this angle. And everyone was like, fantastic, really well done.
Yeah, a remake can still have a fresh perspective.
Absolutely.
I do also appreciate some good original content. I tell you, when the Pirates of the Caribbean was coming out, I was like, they're making a movie based on a ride? I thought it was ridiculous until I saw it and realized this was fantastic. An original story made from scratch. The same thing was recently done with Tomorrowland, based on a Disney ride. I thought it was fantastic. Give me some more of those.
Absolutely, but I'm no videologist.
I'm no videologist. So that's this week's Crossing the Vector Line.
Let us know what your favorite old classic films and TV shows were.
Seriously.
Still continue to be.
They're just legendary, and we want to hear about them. Put them down in the comments below.
And we'll see y'all next week.
And tell me whether you really saw the twist ending of Citizen Kane coming, because I sure didn't.
Spoiler!
Oh, that's fantastic. Hey! Yeah, these guys were trailblazers. And I'm not talking about the basketball team in
The little Chevy car.
Oregon.
My sister totaled her.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
In the forethought of blah, 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 blah. Right?